Hello, 45 Alpha Charlie Papa channel, and today we're going to take a look at... what's that, Smiles?
The gun, Papa.
Oh yeah, well, excuse me while I whip this out.
Holy Mother of Jesus!
Now, Smiles, don't you be getting religious on me. Today, we've got the Ruger Super Redhawk 44 Magnum. Ooh. This has been loaned to the channel here so I could take a look at it, take it out, and shoot it. But what a nice gun. There's a few aesthetic features on it that I'm not necessarily crazy about, but I understand why they are there. But let's give you a little bit of history about the Super Redhawk. Now, the Super Redhawk came out and was supposed to take the place of the Redhawk, but it never really did. Now, these were designed for 44 Magnum and up. I mean, 44 Magnum used to be the most powerful handgun cartridge in the world, but there were things coming up surpassing that. In 1987, when they introduced this, they had that in mind. Now, you can get these in 454 Casull, 44 Magnum. I think there's the 460 Ruger 480. Don't quote me at that one. That's not a round I'm very familiar with, but I know it's bigger than the 44 Magnum. And in those chambers, in like the 454 Casull, you can also shoot 45 Colt through those guns. And this one, you can shoot 44 Special through it. So you can shoot a very light round or a very heavy round through these. Now, these were kind of designed as a hunter model. They came out in a 7.5-inch barrel that you have here. And I believe there's also a 9.5-inch barrel. And then if you go over to Europe, England, they got these in a 24-inch barrel. Now, most of those have been cut down for competition and stuff, so there's not a whole lot of unmolested ones out there, but a Super Redhawk with a 24-inch barrel and 44 Magnum, that would be so cool. That really, really would. Anyway, Ruger brought this out, I said, 1987, to kind of take over the place of the Redhawk. However, it never really did take place of the Redhawk. They are still making the Redhawk today. Now, this one's in 45 Colt, but this one was made to handle 44 Magnum. So there are 44 Magnum Super Redhawks out there, but one of the reasons that this one kind of stuck around is it doesn't have the scope mount that you see here on the Super Redhawk. Not all Super Redhawks have these, but most of them do. A little distracting to the look, but I understand why they're there. It's a proprietary Ruger scope setup that goes on here. One of the nice things about this particular scope setup on the Rugers is that if you take it on and off the gun, it really doesn't change your zero on your scope. It doesn't change your eye relief on your scope. So that's a nice feature. If you're going to scope it, that's a great feature. If you're just going to leave it alone and use irons, well, it's nice to have, but you're probably not going to use it. Anyway, the Redhawk kind of stuck around because it does come in some different shorter barrel lengths that the Redhawk, Super Redhawk, does not. It's also just a tad smaller frame, being made for up to 44 Magnum. Internally, between the Redhawk and the Super Redhawk, they are completely different animals, because this came out in 1987. In 1985, Ruger came out with the GP 100, and these are very similar. This is a little bit bigger frame than the GP 100, but internally they are identical. Handle-wise, they are identical. I can take this handle off and put it on this Super Redhawk, and I can take the Super Redhawk handle and put it on the GP 100. So they're interchangeable handle-wise, so they're very similar internally, they're very similar mechanically. This is the more improved version. The GP 100 replaced the Security 6 as the improved 357 Magnum handgun for Ruger. The Redhawk, on the other hand, still carries over the mechanism of the old Security 6. So, if you're lusting after an old Security 6 and you want, a Security 6, you can buy yourself a Redhawk, and it's basically just a beefed up Security 6. You can't get it. You can still get these in 357 Magnum, 44 Magnum. They sell them in several different calibers. So if you're looking for an old Security 6 or Security 6 style, the Redhawk is kind of the legacy of that design, and they are still making it to this day. But enough about the history and stuff of these guns. Let's go out and shoot this one. See what we think. Let's run some 44 Special. Double action. Not bad, not bad. Now we're going to put the big boy pants on. 44 Magnum. (150 grains), like 11.5 grains of BE86. Here we go. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, let's run some commercial Hornady hollow points through this. Woo! These are a little hot. .44 Smith & Wesson double action. 44 Magnum double action. 44 Smith & Wesson single action. 44 Magnum single action. Well, we are back from the range, and what a beast. 44 Magnum in this heavy gun is comfortable enough to shoot and shoot a lot of. Something like a 454 Casull in this, I'm not sure you get a whole lot of rounds off before your hand starts, really hurting. But, this one I can go out and recreational shoot, hunt with it, and 44 Magnum is plenty of power, and it's comfortable enough to shoot and shoot continuously for me. Now, if I were to buy one of these guns, this one's on loan to the channel. I'm really wanting this right here, the Super Redhawk Alaskan. 44 mag, I think, I kind of always wanted the 454 Casull, but I think 44 mag is where I would probably go with it. But take the scope mounts off that you get on the Alaskan. It comes with a pinned front sight, still has the adjustable rears. Man, that's a damn sexy gun, and that would be a blast to shoot. But, with this extra long barrel here, you get some really good accuracy out of this gun. Shooting it, like I said, it was pleasurable enough to shoot. Still pretty stout. Trigger, go ahead. We are empty. We're always empty here on the channel. Trigger on it, double action, not bad. Typical Ruger, very similar to my GP100. Could maybe use a little bit of cleaning up in there, but overall it's not bad. It's a little heavier than I think my GP100, but it needs to be to fire off the harder primers in the Magnum rounds, especially when you start getting up into like the 454 Casulls and stuff like that. Single action on it, not bad at all. Pretty decent. Very controllable. Nice clean break. Again, could be cleaned up a little bit, as with most Rugers that come out of the factory. They could use a little cleaning up, but overall, really not that bad at all. You've got the inserts on here. If this were my gun, the first thing I would take off is these grips. I mean, the grips are okay, but I would go to something more what's on my GP100. You know, go with a Hogue, a little bit more molded grip, maybe just a tad bit bigger, get you a little bit more control of the firearm. You know, these are okay, but I think there's some better grips out there, or maybe even a real nice set of wood grips. But the 44 mag, you probably want to go with the Hogue rubberized grips. I like the sight picture in this. I like the fact that this does have the replaceable front sight, so if you wanted to change this out to different colors, or they got a couple different designs, you can. It's nice that you have the adjustable rear sight. I do like that boxed in rear U-notch rear white, very much like a Glock sight. I like the Glock sights. I'm one of the few that do. I'm not a Glock fanboy. I really don't like Glocks, but I really do like the sights, and I do like that carried over here on the Ruger, you know, the Super Redhawk. I had a blast shooting it. I actually had to go out and buy dies. You know, the only thing I hate about this gun is I have to give it back, and I really need a 44 Magnum in my life. So we'll have another 44 Magnum at some point on the channel. That is one of the next ones I'm going to pick up. I just got to have one. And now that I load for it, you know, when you're shooting these bigger calibers like the 44 Magnums, reloading is the way to go. It's a lot cheaper than buying boxed ammo. I think I spent about three-quarters of what a box of ammo would cost on a set of dies. And, you know, the cast bullets and stuff, you can go out and buy those, but you know, to get started, I can probably usually buy a set of dies, enough bullets and brass to cover about 2 boxes worth, and that gives me, you know, all the stuff I need to just keep shooting. Anyway, Ruger Super Redhawk, 45 Alpha Charlie Papa channel. Please like, subscribe. Got any questions, or, you know, just continue the conversation on down below. You know, hit the like button if you liked it. If you didn't like this video, hit the dislike. Just engage. But this is 45 Alpha Charlie Papa channel, and I am out.